Alright, hello again. My name is Shala Sadiq, and this is my second video focusing on the housing epidemic here at Prairie View A&M. And today I'm going to be focusing, instead of like my last video, on the issues and on the reasons why I feel like we have these issues, but more on the solutions and the easy, not even well thought out. I mean, I've put a lot of thought into them, but I don't even feel like it was difficult to put in this amount of thought. And I feel like these ideas are a lot better than the quote-unquote solutions that are being implemented or at least brought to our attention. So let's dive right on in. The first solution: build more before we expand. I feel like this is really simple. This is more of a general idea, but it'll definitely solve our crisis. We should be building more housing instead of welcome centers and cricket fields and there's a few construction sites on campus, and they're not necessarily being very upfront with the entirety of the student body or transparent with their ideas of what these construction sites are going to be. But as of right now, we have a few construction sites, and none of them as of right now have to do with housing. So I think that we should build more before we expand, or we should at least handle this crisis before we work on expanding the community and expanding it and making it look great, because we're building welcome centers to students that aren't really welcome because they don't have shelter. Number two, I feel like this is an easy fix. Bunk beds in the UC and the phases, or wherever the freshmen / sophomores are going to be expected to stay. I don't know as far as the ACC contract goes. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. I don't know how that necessarily works, whether a bunk bed is considered one bed or two, but if we're keeping the contract in mind as far as how many beds that we have, if whatever it is, I think we need to start using bunk beds, because even before we build more housing complexes, we can just double the amount of space that we have, or double the efficiency of the space that we have right now by implementing bunk beds instead of just one single level bed. I'm sure, a little more storage space in each room is probably going to have to be implemented, but I think this is at least a less costly alternative than building a new housing unit. But for sure, I think this is very logical, and I think it's simple. I don't think I should have had to bring that to anybody's attention, but yeah, here we go. My third idea is factoring in people who apply for parking passes. Now, I don't necessarily like this idea, but I feel like if the amount of beds that we can have on campus is a very limited amount, then we should start limiting more and more of the people who can stay on campus, and not by youth, but by their ability to stay off campus. So I think in no way, shape, or form should the people who are applying for a parking pass get any sort of priority over the people who don't apply for a parking pass, because you have some off-campus housing solutions that are right in the front of campus, and then you have some that extend as far as 15 minutes down the street in Waller, and that's by car. So if you don't have a car, I don't know how long that walk is or that bike ride, but it's definitely unnecessary. Excuse me. But fourth idea: safety factors. This is just to close the campus. I know we were told that the freshmen need to be housed in certain areas because they want them together and just to improve the safety, and this is that and the third. I really think that was an excuse, but even if that is the case and you're really worried about the safety of the freshmen, here's an idea that'll allow you to make sure the safety of all of your student body is actually taken into account. So my personal relationship with the police department on Prairie View's campus is not very good, and as far as I've been led to believe, the student body's general relationship with Prairie View's police department isn't very good. So instead of getting 3 or 4 squad cars to pull up on a student when they go 22 in a 20 or run a stop sign, we can set up police checkpoints at every Prairie View entrance, and overall let people flash their student IDs if they want to get on campus. This gives the police something to do instead of, I guess, bothering the community or trying to, I don't know what they're considered to be doing, but this gives them something to do. It'll at least start to improve the relationship between the student body and the police department, and you won't have to specifically house the freshmen nor any people in the student body who need safety as their specialty to be factored in, because the entire campus will be safe, because it'll be a closed campus. I don't know why it's not a closed campus as of now. We've had plenty of shootings, a few homicides, but I think it's time to close these doors. Our fifth idea is improve ACC's contracts. As far as I've been led to believe from the first town hall that I went to, I think we can hold 4,200 beds on campus. And just to give you an idea of the rate that we're accepting students, PV22's class, which was double PV21's class, they extended acceptance to over 6,000 students. And we can only safely hold 4,200 students on campus. Even if of course, every student that gets accepted isn't going to attend the university, but if you say half of those students that you extended acceptance of, yes, you can come here to our university. If half of those students pulled up, then you have 3,000 out of 4,200, which is well over 50% of the housing opportunities on campus taken up by the upcoming freshman class. This does not include sophomores or the current freshmen or anybody else in the upperclassmen body. Since we're building a new housing unit in the fall of 2020, I think that we can improve these ACC contracts, but if we cannot, I think we need to start looking at better outsourcing options as far as housing goes, because if ACC cannot meet our demands as far as putting the student first, then we need to look at somebody who can, because we should not settle on this standard as far as keeping our students safe and housing, providing shelter for the student body. So we can look into other companies, or we need to do whatever we can to improve these contracts, whether that be hire more police officers, hire more sheriffs, expand what is considered to be the university. But I think this is something that we can do. I guess my sixth, improve was kind of piggybacking. So 6, improve the shuttles. The shuttle system is awful. I don't ride the shuttle because I stay on campus, but I barely see it. It's a very small bus, and for the amount of students that currently and are about to have to stay off campus, we need way more shuttles. We need a way more reliable shuttle that runs on time, and we definitely need these shuttles to not stop running at 8 p.m. and to start running before 8 a.m. because there are certain students who have a class at 8 a.m., which means that if the shuttle at max is leaving the campus at 8 o'clock in the morning to go and get somebody from off campus and bring them back, they're automatically going to be late. I don't know if there's already things in tune to factor that in, but 8 to 8 is atrocious because the campus doesn't close until 11. As of this midterm season, we've been allowed to have a 24-hour library, but as of my past years being here, it stayed open until midnight. But that means that if I wanted to stay in the library to study, just in case I didn't have a laptop, or just in case, the Wi-Fi at home was trash, because as every Prairie View student knows, we're not offered very good Wi-Fi. But if I had to come and go to Prairie View's campus to, stay and use their utilities, then I would have to leave before 8 o'clock because the last shuttle runs at 8 o'clock. So I think that's atrocious, and that definitely needs to be improved. Another personal idea that I've had, I think we either need to collaborate with Uber, Lyft, Cash Car, or any of those taxi-ish ideas. And if not, we need to innovate our own substitute for that. This is a good way to employ students as far as student hourly or work study. Students who have a car of a certain year, of a certain updated model, can qualify for this service, and throughout certain hours can, one of our electronics or our computer engineers can create an app that would, we can just have a PV substitute. This will create a whole new Prairie View economy. I know there's an issue with Waller, Prairie View A&M being the biggest source of income for Waller County, but Waller County not actually factoring in a lot of the needs of Prairie View A&M and its student body. So if we create Uber, or create a PV Uber or a PV taxi, or at least some, work with them to create a contract and get discounted rates, then this will be another form of a way that people can get to and from the off-campus housing solutions. And it'll probably be more dependable, or ease of access than the shuttle, because the shuttle already needs improvement. So not only will it lower the amount of people that need to be on the shuttle, but it'll provide a healthy alternative. And lastly, I think we need to use the production of great students as a money grab instead of the quantity of students. As I touched on in my last video, Prairie View is running to the Texas A&M system, or whoever they answer to, and saying, here, we have so many students, we can't afford them. We need more money from you so we can afford our population increase. Well, instead of doing this, I'm certain that whoever we are running to and asking for money would appreciate if we're producing more productive adults in society. And if we can prove that, seeing as how it's our motto, Prairie View produces productive people, then we can go to them and say, hey, we're producing a lot of great people, great students, great adults, great citizens. If you give us more resources, we can utilize those resources to create even more great students, great adults, and great citizens. As of right now, this is just a real quick list of ideas that I have. These are free. I don't want no compensation for any of these. I don't feel like these are hard to think of. I'm pretty sure somebody has already thought of them, but if not, here you go. If these have been thought of already, I think somebody needs to put a little bit more intensity into these ideas. And if a few of these ideas are taken into account, this whole crisis that we're dealing with can be averted. But I will say that these ideas are if the safety and the well-being of the student body is really our main priority. This does not work if your priority is money. Granted, some of these ideas might bring income to the student body or bring income to the university, but if money is your only priority, then these ideas won't work. So the fact that any of these ideas have yet to be used makes me think that the well-being and the efficiency of the housing on campus of the student body isn't the main priority here, and it absolutely needs to be. So again, I hope somebody sees this as far as being able to use these ideas to cancel out this crisis as quickly as possible. And, if not, I'm willing to brainstorm with anybody that I need to brainstorm with or work with. But please take these into account, because the ideas that we have been given or we have been faced with are, I don't even know if they can really be considered ideas. But again, thank you for listening. If you've listened this far, I hope you all find housing and are not homeless this upcoming semester. And again, I'm going to be working on something else that we can do that will grab the attention of those that need to hear us. Thank you.